Hey guys, so it is that time of the month again. It is time for my monthly favorites, and I'm going to be talking about my monthly favorites from this past month of January. This first one that was a really big favorite for me this past month is this Jane water resistant liquid eyeliner, and it's in the color Golden Black. It looks more brown than it does black when you put it on your eyelids. It just has some like golden little flecks of sparkle in it. The way that I have been wearing it a lot this past month is just with like a neutral eye, and it just adds a little something extra to the eyeshadow. I bought several of these Jane liquid liners. They are really water resistant and they last a really long time on my eyelid. Then the next liquid liner that I just loved a lot, I liked this liquid liner in December and this month. This is the liquid liner that I have above that Golden Black liquid liner on my upper lash line, and this is an e.l.f. liquid liner, and it is in the color Copper, and it is a glitter liquid liner. I'll just put in some side pictures again so you can see what it looks like. I feel like in the wintertime, you know, things can be kind of drab, and this is just adds a little something extra, kind of like the Jane liquid liner, and I like pairing these two together. I think they're just really pretty. Sometimes the glitters are a little sparse, so you might have to kind of go back over it a few times to get the glitter really intense, but I do feel like it's worth it because this thing is like $1. I really like the color because it's not like a yellow gold, it's more of a rose gold color, and I feel like rose gold glitter liquid liners are really hard to find. Then the next eyelining product that I've loved and will always love is this NYX Slide On Glide On Pencil in Glitzy Gold, and I love pairing this with the Golden Black liner from Jane. These Slide On Glide On pencils from NYX are just awesome. I talked about them in my top favorite beauty products of the year. These things are amazing. They last a really long time. Like once you put them down, they set up and they don't go anywhere. So I want to get like every single one of these colors in the NYX Slide On Glide On line. Moving on to a face product. This product here, the Maybelline Baby Skin. Oh my goodness, I love this product so much. I don't want to like get too much in detail and in depth about it because I do have a first impressions video coming up soon on this product. But I have to say, this is definitely my favorite primer from the drugstore. It does an awesome job of blurring out your pores, making your makeup last for a long time. The next product that I'm going to talk about is another face product, and it's the Stila Kitten highlighter. It's like a duo. Now, I can't really use this bronzy one right now. I'm too fair for it. Like, it looks really weird if I try to use it as a highlighter because it's just a little too dark for a highlighter for me. But I have been using the pink side. It's not too shimmery. It's just got like the right amount of shimmer. I'm wearing it today as my highlight. I know it probably looks pretty intense on camera just because my lights are like shining so bright on my face, but in real life it just gives your cheeks a really nice healthy just glow. So my next favorite this past month is, it looks like a concealer, and I did use this in a get ready with me video. I think it was like my dramatic copper smoky eye or something like that. I did use this, and I think some people thought it was concealer, which I could totally understand that. But it's actually a sample of foundation that I got at the Giorgio Armani counter, and it is, I think it's called the Giorgio Armani Silk Cream Foundation. And I absolutely love this foundation. It's one of those foundations that has a really good coverage. Like, it's not too super full coverage, but it's not really light. It's definitely a true like medium coverage foundation. It gives your skin such a nice healthy look to the skin, and it looks really awesome in photos. It looks like your skin but better. I just don't know how to describe it. I know that the foundation is really pricey. I want to say it's like $60 for the foundation, but in my opinion, I feel like it's well worth it. I will definitely go out and purchase the foundation once I run out of the sample, so I'm trying to make it last for as long as possible, but this has been a huge favorite for me and I absolutely love this foundation. Another foundation that I have just been in love with this past month of January is this MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. I know that a lot of you all might be like, oh my god, I can't believe she has that in a favorites video, because it doesn't work for me. It breaks me out. I know a lot of people have a lot of issues with MAC foundations, breaking them out and not working for them, but I will say that this foundation has not broken me out at all this past month. I do have one blemish. I think it's over here. Yeah, I have this blemish right now, but it's getting ready to be that time of the month for me, and I always get like that one breakout, that one or two breakouts, so it's like my hormones like flare up. I have this foundation on today. It's just a good foundation that is full coverage but doesn't look cakey. It lasts a really long time. It's really easy to blend out. Like, this is really comparable to the Revlon Color Stay, but this foundation is so much easier to blend than the Revlon Color Stay is. The MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, I picked this up the same time that I got the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, and I did show those in a haul video back in December. It was like my Christmas Eve haul. It is really full coverage, but not drying and not cakey. If you do use a lot of it in an area, it could kind of get cakey, so you can't just like keep piling it on. It will get cakey if you do that. But it doesn't settle in like fine lines. It does an awesome job of hiding under eye circles or blemishes. My two favorite lipsticks this past month is the color that I'm wearing right now, which is the color Angel by MAC, which is a really nice wearable pink. It is a frost, but it's not like super frosty or anything on the lip. It just adds a little bit of sheen. The other lipstick by MAC that I just think is so pretty, and I've featured this in several of my tutorials, but it's the lipstick in Saint Germain by MAC, and it is an amplified formula. This is just the perfect Barbie doll pink. It is a very blue tone pink, so if those colors don't look very good on you, you know, this might not be the lipstick color for you, but if blue tone pinks look really good on you, I do highly recommend this one. My favorite blush has been this e.l.f. blush, and it's in the color Tickled Pink. It's the blush I'm wearing today. It just gives your cheeks a really nice, healthy, natural pink flush. It goes great with the Angel lipstick by MAC. For my contour this past month, I fell back in love with my NARS Laguna bronzer. I used to use this bronzer all the time. It used to be like the only bronzer I would ever use to contour or to bronze my skin. This is one of those just classic bronzers that just look good on everybody. It's a great contouring bronzer. It's a great bronzer for all over the face. And this will definitely always be in my makeup collection because it's the perfect bronze. Like, it's not too orange, it's not too brown, it's just right in the middle. Then for body lotions, I fell in love with this Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula lotion. It's very, very moisturizing, so if you have very, very dry skin, I highly recommend this. It smells like chocolate. Like, I just love the way this stuff smells. The last favorites I'm going to talk about are eyeshadows, and I have a couple of different eyeshadow palettes that I just love this past month of January. This first one is this Wet n Wild palette, and it's in the color The Naked Truth. I found this at my local grocery store in a display by Wet n Wild. It was like a spring 2014 collection display, and it was in that display, so I don't know if this is going to be permanent or not. So if you are interested in this, you might want to try to hurry up and get to like the drugstores or your grocery store to see if you can find it. This is a great palette that has some awesome neutral shades in it. I did a tutorial using this palette. I will link that tutorial down below, but the colors in this palette are just so pigmented, and they're just great everyday colors. You could do like a nice everyday wearable look with this palette, or you could do a nice smoky brown eye with this palette, which is what I did in my tutorial. Then one of my other favorite palettes this past month of January was the Lorac Pro Palette. I just picked this up, I want to say the beginning of January or the very end of December. I can't remember when. It was one of those 2 times. Every time I go to Ulta to get it, they would be sold out, and then Sephora stopped carrying it in the stores. I don't know if they carry it online or not anymore, so it was just getting really hard for me to find. And then one day I was at Kohl's and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I have to pick that up. It just has a top row of all matte and and then the bottom row is shimmer. I love a lot of these matte colors for everyday wear. These shadows are just so buttery, so pigmented. And I would have to say that this is starting to become one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. I'm actually starting to like this a little bit better than my Naked palette. I didn't think that would be possible, but it's definitely up there with the Naked palettes. So the last things that were my favorites this past month of January, first off is the MAC palette, like Pro Palette thing. I needed something like the Z palette. And I really didn't feel like paying $20 for a Z palette. I know that might be cheap, but I just didn't want to spend the money on that. And then when I discovered this MAC palette on the MAC website for $8, I got like super excited because I knew I could use it as like a Z palette. The only difference is with a Z palette, you don't have to add magnets to the back of your eyeshadows because the Z palette is a magnet and you can just stick, you know, the metal eyeshadow pans to it. The MAC palette is metal on the bottom. So if you want your eyeshadows to stick to it, you have to add magnets on the back. But still, you can buy like magnet strips for like $1 or, you know, not very expensive. So, you know, it ends up being cheaper to do it this way than to buy the Z palette. This has been a big favorite for me. And then with the eyeshadows in here, I depotted like all my Jane eyeshadows like right here. And then some of my other like single eyeshadows I depotted this past month. But the Jane single eyeshadows, oh my goodness, like they are so crazy pigmented and just really amazing. If you haven't tried any of the Jane single eyeshadows, I highly recommend them. And the colors that I have been using a lot this past month, for my crease color, I have Willow, which is just a really nice, just mid-tone brown. I've been using this color a lot this past month. And then for like my all over lid color, I have this color Magnolia all over my lid. All the colors that I picked up from Jane are matte, but I know they also have some shimmery eyeshadows in these single eyeshadows. This color here called Clay is a dupe for MAC's Soft Brown. And then this other darker brown color that I have, I found that this is a dupe for MAC Mystery. So MAC's Mystery eyeshadow. I highly recommend these Jane ones. I know that the MAC, just the pan eyeshadows, they dropped the price on those. They're only $10 now. So these Jane ones aren't like a whole lot cheaper than the MAC ones, but they are a little bit cheaper and you do get more product in the Jane eyeshadows. So I feel like they are worth the money and I do really like the ones that I picked up. That pretty much concludes my favorites from the month of January. I know I had a ton of things that I was talking about, but I had a lot of favorites from December and this month. If you would, please leave me down below what your top favorite products were from this past month of January. And I will see you guys in my next video and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.